All right, great Patriots. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another Kayleigh McEnany press briefing. This one caught us completely by surprise. I'm trying to look up anywhere where it was scheduled that there was a press briefing with Kayleigh today, but there's absolutely nowhere where it actually says that. Now, you know, we found out by someone inside the White House tipping us off and saying, hey, you know what, there's going to be a press briefing in just a few moments. So the good thing is that we caught it right before, because there was absolutely no heads up, no update, no nothing. But the good thing is that we were able to get the update. Yeah, there was no heads up, no nothing, folks. But you know what the good thing is? That we are here. And we're ready to go. So thank you so much to all the Patriots who are tuning in and choosing us as your stream of choice. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for choosing us here at Golden State Times as your stream of choice. We're just making sure that everything is running smoothly. Now the hot mic is on, but it's a little quiet in there. It's a little quiet in the room. So let me see. Let me know if you guys can hear the hot mic. Let me turn off my microphone for a second. Let me know if you guys can hear the hot mic.
I was going to ask you the same thing. I don't know if this is it. Thank you, Don.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for the feedback. Some Patriots are saying, yes, I can hear the hot mic. I can hear it. The hot mic is very caliente. The hot mic is very hot. Awesome. So yeah, the hot mic is on. There's just quite a few of the fake news sitting in the audience. But Kayleigh McEnany should be coming out very soon. Thank you so much for choosing Golden State Times as your stream of choice. If you guys help us by sharing the live stream on Twitter, we'll give you guys a quick shout out as a thank you for your help and your support. We need your help now more than ever before. Thank you so much. Also, we want to give a big shout out to all of the Patriots with the Trump hats next to their name in the chat. Those are our members, our sponsors. Because of you, we're able to live stream this event to Patriots all over the country and all over the world. Thank you so much for your hard work and your support, great Patriots. Also, we want to give a big shout out to all the Patriots who have helped us out through Super Chat. Because of you, we're able to continue operation here on YouTube. As you guys can see, there's absolutely no ads on this live stream. This is an ad-free experience. With the help of all the Patriots, we're in the chat with the Trump hats next to their name. We are not sponsored by huge corporations. We're sponsored by you, the people. Thank you so much, folks. And like I said, Kayleigh should be coming out soon.
Sorry to interrupt. I gotta jump off.
All right, folks, let me know if you guys got notified for this live stream in the chat, but we would like to ask if you guys can please share the live stream if you haven't yet. If you already shared it, thank you so much, Great Patriots, for your help and your support. It means a lot to us, folks. Your support means so much to us. You cannot believe. So thank you so much for your help and your support. All right, folks, so she's going to be walking through the door any second now. Please share the live stream on social media and don't forget to click the thumbs up button. Thank you so much, folks, to all the Patriots who have already been sharing the live stream.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just spoke with the president, and he wanted to thank the commissioner of Big Ten football, Kevin Warren, and all of the players, parents, coaches, and fans who wanted more than anything to play football. The president was happy to get this thing going, and now you will have players in Maryland, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Ohio, Iowa, Indiana, Illinois, Minnesota, Mississippi, and Nebraska, who will now have access to football, which is very good to see. Transitioning to a much more somber topic and one that is very important to the president, I want to talk a little bit about our police officers. 14 months ago, 2 deputies with the Los Angeles Police Department were sworn in to protect and serve their community. This past Saturday, these 2 deputies were ambushed. While sitting in their patrol car in Compton, California, a suspect approached the passenger side window, took aim, and fired multiple shots at point-blank range into the patrol car. "I've been shot. Send help," begged one of the deputies over 911. This was a cowardly, brazen, and unprovoked attack against law enforcement. One of the deputies attacked was a 31-year-old mother of a 6-year-old boy. She was seen on security footage attending to the wounds of her partner, despite being shot in the jaw and arm herself. She is a true hero. Rushed to the hospital, these two deputies were targeted yet again. The LA County Sheriffs tweeted this: "To the protesters blocking the entrance and exit of the hospital emergency room, yelling 'We hope they die,' referring to two LA sheriffs ambushed today in Compton. They said this: 'Do not block emergency entries and exits to the hospital. People's lives are at stake.'" Truly despicable behavior from those protesters. People's lives are indeed at stake. And it is truly, quote, "a double miracle," as the Los Angeles Sheriff Alex Villanueva described it, that these two deputies are alive today. Targeting a police officer is an assault against your community. It is an assault against law and order. It is antithetical to what we value as Americans. We all remember the disastrous impact of the Ferguson effect. We do not want to see a repeat today. Defund the police is not just dangerous policy, it is a poisonous ideology. We must respect our police, not revolt against them. In the past 24 hours alone, we've seen law enforcement targeted across the country. This is in 24 hours. In Phoenix, a U.S. Marshal was ambushed and shot outside a federal courthouse in a drive-by shooting. In Linwood, California, a suspect approached a patrol car and fired a handgun into the passenger side window. In Suffolk, Virginia, a suspect opened fire on a marked police car, hitting the vehicle 3 times. This is within 24 hours. These acts are despicable. Rhetoric such as defund the police is likely to have negative consequences for law enforcement across the country, threatening the safety of our communities. As Los Angeles Sheriff Villanueva warned, the ambush in Compton is a, quote, "sober reminder. It's a dangerous job. Actions, words have consequences," he said. Our job does not get any easier because people do not like law enforcement. It pisses me off," he said. "It dismays me at the same time. There's no pretty way to say it." The president wants law and order, which is the best way to ensure peace on our streets. And he wants our police to be respected and protected. And with that, I'll take questions. Yes,
Kayleigh, thank you so much. I have 2 questions, if you don't mind. The first one is about masks. This morning, CDC Director Robert Redfield testified that masks are more guaranteed to protect people from COVID than a vaccine. Last night, the president continued to question their use. So why is he sending mixed messages about something that doctors say can save lives?
And the president has always supported mask wearing, and he's made many comments to that effect from this podium. Yesterday, he was pointing to a quote that even Dr. Fauci has noted, which is that masks can have unintended consequences. While we support wearing them, and it's patriotic to do so, the unintended consequences can be inappropriate usage, touching the mask, and then going on and touching something else. So the president very vividly described that unintended consequence that can come if not worn appropriately.
And secondly, on September 3rd, you said the herd immunity so-called theory was something made up by the fanciful minds of the media. That was never something that was ever considered here at the White House. But last night, the president said that the country would eventually achieve herd mentality. I believe he meant immunity, to explain how the virus would, quote, go away. So did the White House shift its position about this in the past 2 weeks since you made those comments? And what is the position about using it as a strategy?
Herd immunity has never been a strategy here at the White House. The president last night was noting herd immunity is over a period of time a country, a society can reach herd immunity. It's a fact. It was not a strategy ever presented here at the White House. And in fact, he went on in that very same exchange to say with the vaccine, this will go away very quickly, noting our strategy is to get a vaccine, and we will do so at the fastest rate for a novel pathogen.
So he doesn't agree with Dr. Atlas's view that everyone should just catch it and then we'll move on.
That's not Dr. Atlas's view. Dr. Atlas, I'm with him every day. He's never proposed herd immunity as a strategy, nor has the president. John.
A couple of other questions on COVID, if I could. Have any members of White House staff recently tested positive for coronavirus?
I don't share people's personal medical information.
But we've heard in the past when that has been the case. Why the change?
I've seen the reporting out there, but again, I'm not here to give people's personal identities. In the past, when I've discussed a case, unfortunately, that individual's name was leaked to the media.
Okay. Secondly, something else that Dr. Redfield said was that while some people in high-risk categories may receive a vaccine by the end of the year, it would likely not be until the end of the second quarter or the third quarter before vaccinations were widely available. Is the president okay with that timeline, or does he want to see a vaccine more widely available earlier than that?
We're still of the belief that we will have a vaccine by the end of the year. Operation Warp Speed has made it clear that their goal is to have more than 100 million doses. We're manufacturing in advance to make that a possibility.
He indicated that, but it was the idea of the vaccine being more widely available, like a flu vaccine, not until possibly next summer or maybe even early fall.
We do believe that it will be widely available by the end of the year. It's why we've partnered with Sanofi, GSK, Pfizer, and now Johnson & Johnson with the billion-dollar contracts to manufacture 100 million doses. So we still feel that we're on the right timeline.
When you say widely available, do you mean to everyone or just people in high-risk groups?
I'm not going to engage in a hypothetical, but it's our goal to have at least 100 million in production by the end of the year. Yes.
I have two questions. You said that the president was talking about wearing a mask improperly last night, touching it, referring to what Dr. Fauci has said. But he said, quote, there are people that don't think masks are good. That's clearly not what the CDC director thinks, since he said today that masks are an important, powerful public health tool we have. They could be even more protective against COVID than a vaccine. So have any medical experts told the president that masks aren't good, or is he only citing non-medical experts like he did last night?
He's referring to the fact that when used appropriately, they can have unintended consequences, much like what Dr. Fauci said. It's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is, and oftentimes there are unintended consequences. So the president agrees with Dr. Fauci that mask wearing is good. It's recommended. The president's continually recommended it from this podium, but he was just pointing out some of the unintended consequences if not used appropriately.
He didn't say that. He just said there are people
No,
that
he
think
did.
masks
Go on.
aren't.
Do you have his whole exchange? Would you like to read it out?
I watched it last night. There,
He
he said
went
there
and
are
talked
people
about-
who don't think masks are good. He didn't say improperly or anything like
Kayleigh,
that.
he
That's
went
what
on
I'm
in the
saying.
unfortunately, a bunch of you are very keen on doing selective editing of the president's quotes and not referring to the second half. Directly under that statement, he talked about a waiter touching the mask, then touching a plate, and that being an unintended effect of wearing a mask. That is an example of a mask not being used
Waiters
appropriately.
don't think masks are good, but
And
didn't cite
he described the exact scenario in which a mask could have an unintended consequence if not used appropriately. And we can send you the clip. We'll put it up on Twitter for
I
you.
watched it. That's okay. I just wanted to see if there's any medical experts who have said that.
And they have, and I just read Dr. Fauci's quote. So go ahead.
Yes, I've read Dr. Fauci's quotes. On the healthcare plan, the chief of staff said today that there is going to be one unveiled before the election, one that the president has been promising for over a year now, long before then. But today on Capitol Hill, the three top medical experts in this administration said they have no idea of any kind of plan that's being formulated. So who is it that is working on the healthcare plan that's going to be introduced before the election?
So here at the White House, we have a wide array of people working on it. There have been elements of it that have already come out, like the telemedicine plan, the drug importation EO, the most favored nations were elements of what is an overarching plan. There's more that will be forthcoming. And in aggregate, it's going to be a very comprehensive strategy, one where we're saving healthcare while Democrats are trying to take healthcare away, where we're making healthcare better and cheaper, guaranteeing protections for people with pre-existing conditions, stopping surprise medical billing, increasing transparency, defending the right to keep your doctor in your plan, fighting lobbyists and special interests, and making healthier and finding cures to diseases. And those are the principles that will animate
Is my question.
multiple stakeholders here at the White House who work on policies. So our
CDC
Domestic
director-
Policy Council and others are working on a health care plan.
Not the CDC
Yes.
director, not Bob
Yes.
Cadlack, not Admiral Jawar. None of them have any idea about the healthcare plan.
I'm not going to give you a readout of what our health care plan looks like and who's working on it. If you want to know, come work here at the White House. Yes.
So I just wanted to know who's working on it.
Yes, stakeholders here in the White House, and as I told you, our Domestic Policy Council and others in the White House are working on a healthcare plan, the president's vision for the next 5 years. And yes, and if you want more, come join us here. Yes.
That's not the point why I asked the question.
Yes.
I think you know that.
Okay, I've called on you 4 times, so
Thank you, Kayleigh.
Mario,
Thank
go
you.
ahead.
Thanks, Kayleigh. When should we expect the president to make a decision on TikTok? And to what degree is that decision delayed by just disagreement among his senior advisors?
Yeah, so you'll have a decision here in short order. I'm not going to get too far into it because I don't want to get ahead of the president, but obviously we care deeply about protecting the data and security of American citizens. Yes.
Thank you, Kayleigh. 2 questions. One is about vaccines. Some people within the Trump administration indicate that there might be a vaccine within a few weeks. Right now, we're all being tested for COVID. Are you going to require vaccine that we be vaccinated to enter the White House complex?
I'm not going to get ahead of any hypothetical. Right now, we're hard at work at actually getting the vaccine, and then plans for distribution will be determined thereafter. There were some guidelines put out today to that effect about how they'll be distributed by HHS and DoD.
Okay, and also, one thing is that Bob Woodward said that the president's response to COVID was, quote, a monumental, catastrophic leadership failure. That this is a tragedy for Trump and for the country. And what is your response to that?
That it's absolutely preposterous and absurd. Look at the facts, look at the data, look at the fact that Europe, for instance, has experienced a 28% higher excess mortality rate than the United States. Look at the fact that we have one of the lowest case fatalities in the world. Look at the fact that from scratch, we developed the largest and most advanced testing system in the entire world, testing more than every country in Europe put together and more than every nation in the Western Hemisphere combined. Look at the fact that we have 3 vaccines in phase 3 clinical trial. That is a historic response, mobilizing the private sector the fastest, or mobilizing the private sector to the greatest degree since World War II. This president has broken through barriers. He's a businessman. He's the commander-in-chief. He's the leader of the country, and he has done a phenomenal job, to quote none other than Governor Andrew Cuomo.
I was going to let a colleague finish. Can I ask my
No,
question?
I'm not going to reward not speaking up and asking your question. Go ahead. Anyone else? Yes.
I'm gonna.
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. The president said on Twitter today that Republicans should go for a much higher number when it comes to the stimulus. What did he mean by that exactly? And has he spoken to Senator McConnell or Speaker Pelosi about what number he has in mind?
Yeah, so what the president was referring to was the $500 billion bill that passed the Senate, the Phase 4 plan. That didn't include, it got 50 votes in the Senate. It's that $500 billion skinny proposal, but it didn't include direct payments. So he wants more than the $500 billion, and he is very keen to see these direct stimulus payments. And we hope that Nancy Pelosi will work with us in good faith. There are many bipartisan proposals out there that have merit. And a clear example of where Nancy stands is that everyone wants to be in D.C., seems to want to make a deal, except Nancy Pelosi. She wants to play politics. Look at the letter she wrote condemning the Problem Solvers Group proposal. That was a $1.5 trillion plan. That if the priorities were modified and made sure that there was not bailout that bailed out states that didn't have COVID-related issues, that just were blanket bailouts to blue states, that's something that we would entertain and look at. But Nancy Pelosi immediately decried that proposal in a letter because she's not interested in a deal. Yes.
Kayleigh, could I just ask really briefly, following up on Mario's question, Trump has said that he wants to see TikTok's U.S. operations being sold to a U.S. company, and our reporting suggests that under proposal submitted to CFIUS, ByteDance would retain a majority stake in TikTok. So does the president still want TikTok to be sold to a U.S. company, or is he now okay with TikTok potentially remaining under Chinese ownership?
Yeah, this is an ongoing negotiation, and I'm not going to offer any further comment beyond any of the president's public remarks. Yes.
Thanks, Kayleigh. I pulled up, I think, that quote that you were talking about. The president said last night, they come over, they serve you, he's talking about waiters, and they have a mask. I saw it the other day where they were serving me, they were playing with the mask, I'm not blaming them, I'm just saying it happens. And then he starts talking about Dr. Fauci. My question is, why is he quoting what Dr. Fauci's guidance from like 5 months ago instead of what the head of the CDC said in the Senate today on masks?
Well, both propositions he agrees with, and thank you very much for reading the second part of the quote. First, he agrees with the consensus that mask wearing is important and recommended. I have here, and I'll make sure you all get a copy all of the times he said that from this podium, and I can read them, but it would probably bore you. He's called it patriotic to wear a mask, but he also recognizes that masks need to be worn appropriately, which is the point Dr. Fauci was making. He was making that point in March, but it was an important point to make, that we should all wear our mask appropriately.
And then it's totally unrelated, but Roger Stone said on a radio show the other day, he said U.S. Marshals should seize the ballots in Nevada on Election Day because he's called them corrupted. Is that something the president is comfortable with, using federal power to seize ballots during the count?
I have not spoken to him about that, nor do I think he's ever seen those comments.
Yes, if you'll allow me, I have a question from a colleague because I'm the cooler today, and then I'd like to ask my own. From a colleague, in lifting tariffs on Canadian aluminum, the USTR announced yesterday it would review shipment levels 6 weeks after the end of September, a timeline that extends beyond the election. Was the president worried that those tariffs and the anticipated retaliatory action from Canada would endanger his re-election chances?
I've not spoken to the president about Canadian tariffs. I haven't followed up on that matter. What was your other question?
The second one is, does the president have any evidence to back up his suggestions that Joe Biden is a pedophile or taking drugs? And without such evidence, if he's simply speculating, why should the public trust him on anything else?
I'd have to refer you to the campaign. I'm not here to talk about Joe Biden. Yes.
Thank you, Kayleigh. With Hurricane Sally making landfall in Alabama and hitting the Florida Panhandle, a couple of questions here related to that. Has the president spoken directly to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis or any of the other governors affected by this storm? And at the same time, has the federal government made any changes to its programs since Hurricane Michael or the way it communicates with the state of Florida?
Yeah, I haven't asked the president about who he's called specifically. I know the White House. I've spoken with IGA. I know the White House has certainly been in contact, and the chief of staff. But in terms of the hurricane, this president is engaging in an important response. FEMA is active. We have high water rescue teams, IMAT teams, disaster medical assistance, generators, 1.8 million meals, 1.5 million bottles of water, and as FEMA Administrator Gaynor has said, we are coordinating with the states right now. We have a significant footprint in Louisiana because of Hurricane Laura, so we are well postured. We're leaning into it to make sure that we meet all the needs of all three of those states.
Are you aware, though, of any changes since Hurricane Michael that are being applied to this specific response?
I've not looked at changes with hurricane response, but this president knows how to respond and will do so and protect the men and women of those three states.
I also have the transcript from last night. I just wanted to ask you about one other line and get clarification. The president did say there are a lot of people that think masks are not good. Who are the people he's referring to? The lot of people.
He was meaning that there are people who think they're not good when not used appropriately, as I've mentioned several times in this briefing. Yes.
Thank you, Kayleigh. Two questions, if I may. One is, I suppose, has to be a hypothetical, but if someone who was at the ceremony the other day for the signing of the accords tested positive for coronavirus subsequently, would everyone who was present at the signing of the accords be notified through contact tracing?
We do contact tracing, so close contacts are always notified.
And secondly, on the stimulus questions, where are you on additional assistance for airlines and maybe more of the pandemic unemployment insurance, since both of those things are urgent priorities and it doesn't look like Congress is going to act? What's the president prepared to do on both of those issues?
The president has mentioned previously that he wanted to take a good look at airlines and help where he can. Of course, we need Congress in a lot of this. He's always made clear that his big priority, number one, is unemployed Americans and Americans who have been hurt by this pandemic. His EO really clarified his priorities, the 4 EOs on eviction and the payroll tax, which helps low and middle income Americans primarily, and unemployment insurance and student loan debt relief. That's his priority, unlike Nancy Pelosi, who took a vacation and went to a hair salon when the men and women of San Francisco did not have the access that she did.
Follow up on payroll taxes. Actually, since you mentioned payroll taxes, is the president disappointed with the large number of employers who are not taking up him and the Treasury Secretary on the payroll tax deferral?
The president believes that companies should take him up on that. He has always said that he is interested in giving a payroll tax forgiveness for those who do participate, because it's very important that those making less than $100,000 have this relief at this time. Raquel.
Hi, Kayleigh, thank you. 2 questions, if I may. One, is the White House aware of the allegations of healthcare abuse in ICE detention centers?
Yeah, I have not followed up on that. I'd have to refer you to DHS. I did see that report just before coming out here, but I'd refer you to DHS.
Okay, another question. A new survey showed that the image of the U.S. in the world is the worst in 20 years, and President Trump is less trusted than Putin or Xi Jinping after COVID response. So why do you think many countries don't trust President Trump right now?
Look, this president has led the greatest response to COVID. I've already walked through how well we're doing vis-a-vis the rest of the world. Also worth noting, we had the smallest economic contraction of any major Western country in the first half of the year. Also want to note that in 2019, real median household income grew by more. This is last year alone. Real median household income grew by more than all 8 years of Obama-Biden. And in 2019, so last year, real median household income for African Americans rose 8%, and that is more than double the gains of Obama-Biden in 8 years. So this president has led economically, he's led on COVID, and when you look at what he did just yesterday with these landmark peace agreements that haven't been done in a quarter of a century, but President Trump made it happen. He is a great diplomat, a great peacemaker, and I think him being nominated for 2 Nobel Prizes says it all.
Just can I ask you on the great success story you've talked about COVID. In the richest country in the world, you have 4% of the global population and 24% of the coronavirus deaths. How is that a success story?
Yeah, when you look at, again, we have, Europe has 28% higher excess mortality rate.
No, look at the global numbers that I'm giving you, which is 4% of the population, 24% of the deaths from COVID. Isn't that how can that be a success?
And I'm giving you the numbers that we believe are very indicative of where we stand vis-a-vis the rest of the world. Excess mortality is an indicator that takes into account the percent deaths above what would occur without a pandemic. It counts the excess mortality, and what we see is that we are 28% under Europe. You have to look at this holistically. You have to look at total and aggregate how many deaths have occurred in this country and compare that to Europe in the excess mortality rate and case fatality and testing. We have exceeded in our response, and this president is very proud of the great work that this administration has done.
Is Michael Caputo welcome back after his 60-day leave after urging his followers on Facebook to stock up on ammunition?
I'm not going to weigh into any personnel matters. As you know, he has taken a leave of absence that was announced just before I came out here. But what I will weigh into is the Middle East peace deal signed yesterday that I did not receive a single question about. That was the first time it's happened in a quarter of a century. If Obama and Biden had achieved this, there would look a lot different. You wouldn't have Chuck Todd saying he's uncomfortable with the deal that brings peace between the United Arab Emirates and Israel and Bahrain. You wouldn't have CBS calling it, quote, a business deal, and you wouldn't have Nancy Pelosi calling it a distraction. Maybe it's a distraction from her visits to the hair salon, but those were significant agreements. First time in a quarter of a century, 3 peace deals in 29 days. Took 26 years for the prior 2 peace deals. So this, the Nobel Peace Prize nomination for the president, 2 of them, very well deserved. Thank you.
Kayleigh, if he's a law and order president.
All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us here at Golden State Times. If you guys liked our coverage, make sure you click the thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel, we encourage you to subscribe and click that notification bell. We welcome you to the underground. This is the underground when it comes to news reporting, folks. We are not the mainstream media. We do not want to be the mainstream media. We are not the mainstream media's friend. Us here at Golden State Times and the mainstream media are not on the same team. As you guys saw, every single one of those reporters wanted to make sure that the White House and President Trump and everything that has been going on up to this point looks bad. They tried to change the narrative. They try to twist what's going on. They try to twist the narrative. They try to do everything possible to make President Trump look bad. Like the quotes that Kayleigh McEnany just said. So like I said, if you just subscribe today, if you've just subscribed, you just click the subscribe button right now. Thank you so much. Welcome to the underground. Welcome to the family. And we hope that you guys join us on the next one. We want to give a big thank you to all of our members in the chat and in the comment section below. Because of you, we're able to cover this event to patriots all over the country and all over the world. So once again, if you're new to the channel, we encourage you to click that subscribe button and that bell. And don't forget to click the thumbs up button and share this video on social media. More patriots need to see this video. It's very good, so make sure you guys share it. Thank you so much, folks. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Gold State Times for up-to-the-second information on everything that is going on at the White House, in Congress, and in politics altogether. Thank you so much, folks, and we'll see you very soon. Peace. All right, folks, so that was for the video upload. Like I was saying, if you're new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe and you click that bell. We'd like to welcome you to the underground when it comes to news reporting. We are not the mainstream media's friend. We do not want to be their friends. We are not even in the same team with the fake news. So if you want raw footage of everything that is going on instead of clips and bits and pieces and stuff like that, then make sure that you subscribe and you click that bell if you are new. Thank you so much for joining us here at Golden State Times, and we hope that you guys join us on the next one. And if you are a subscriber, if you're a new subscriber, welcome to the underground. Thank you so much also to the moderators for keeping the chat clean and enjoyable for everyone. We have Deacon, we have Carolyn Hall, we have Gorf, we have Siri Blue 90, we have Olaf and Co, we have Truck, we have Brian, we have all of our great patriots who are our moderators. Thank you so much for your hard work and your support, great patriots. Also, all the patriots that helped us by sharing the live stream on social media. Thank you so much for your help and your support. You guys are amazing, and we love you guys so much for your help. As you guys know, we're always being censored and shadow banned and stuff like that. That's the reason why we can't even put ads on our live streams anymore, because if we do, then YouTube censors it. We get censored 100%. So that's what's going on here at Golden State Times almost on a daily basis now. So thank you so much to all the patriots who shared the live stream and who clicked the thumbs up button. We hope to see you guys here on the next one. But until then, my name is Jen. I'm from Golden State Times, and I will see you soon. Peace. All right, folks, thank you so much. We have uploaded the video onto the channel. So hopefully you guys get notified in case you guys missed it, or even if you didn't miss it, just click on it, head over to the video, give it a thumbs up, and share it on social media. We'll be putting the link to the video on our Twitter at Gold State Times, or on Parler at Golden State Times, or on Facebook at Golden State Times. So whatever social media you have, make sure you head over there, and I'll be putting the link to it in the on our social media, on Twitter at Gold State Times, on Facebook at Golden State Times, or on Parler at Golden State Times. Thank you so much for joining us. And we are going to revamp and restart our website. I have been letting the website go for a while now, but I want to start it. I want to revamp it. So if you want to check it out, our website is www.goldenstatetimes.com. Again, that's www.goldenstatetimes.com. I'm going to revamp it. I'm going to restart it just to keep you guys up to date on everything else that is going on. All the stuff that we cover here in video, and also now on our website, goldenstatetimes.com. We're going to put all of the links to news articles that we want to let you guys know what's going on, because we know that Drudge is just absolutely not reliable anymore. And we understand that. And we want to make sure that you guys get a place where you can see all the news that is going on out there, videos and stuff like that are very interesting. And not only that, all of our coverage that we do through YouTube. And we're going to put all of that stuff on there. So thank you so much for your help and your support once again. Stay tuned for our website, goldenstatetimes.com. And also stay tuned if there's more coverage from the White House. Thank you so much, folks, and we'll see you soon. Peace. Once again, let me know if you guys got notified for the video upload of Kayleigh McEnany, the Q&A with Kayleigh McEnany. Let me know if you guys got notified by YouTube.